Welcome. In this tutorial, you're going to see a screencast that illustrates the contents of a digital portfolio that's been created for EDTL 3021 in the spring semester of 2021. To begin, we're going to launch the Google Classroom. And in this case, you can see that my Google Classroom title is a GOTY 3021 Portfolio Classroom. And I've entered in an area that contains the video stream that has all of the communication that was included as I built my portfolio. The classwork section of the Google Classroom really contains all of the meat and potatoes of the course, where I'm going to be sharing all of the digital artifacts that I've created throughout the semester. So here you will find for this project the criteria document, which is a Google Doc, and that lives here in the Google Drive within my classroom. And here you'll see the project description that has itemized all of the elements of this portfolio. And we'll be going over this in more detail in class. So for your access, you will actually be able to see this project criteria and the rubric that is associated with the point values and how each item will be evaluated. In addition, within the stream, you'll find the digital video project rubric, which I've created here as a PDF just for easy access. It is a spreadsheet that shows the document that has lined up all of the elements of the portfolio file. Some of the elements that are included here are additional material to just illustrate what the Google Docs and items will appear to be as you browse through your digital portfolio to share with Mr. Stevens and myself for evaluation. These items are only being evaluated as they've been prepared for the portfolio. As you can see, this teaching philosophy is something that was created for another class, and it is absolutely acceptable that you build your teaching philosophy in your content preparation class 3400 and include that here within your teaching portfolio. Items A, B, and C in the portfolio criteria, you will pick one of these items. For example, an artifact might include your Google Certification Level 1 badge, which looks like this. You may also have the opportunity to create a Bitmoji classroom, which is a Google slide. We'll have to get to that here in just a moment. Actually, I'm going to have to go right in here and show you what that Google slide looks like. It's in my classroom. So many of you have had the opportunity to actually create a Bitmoji classroom. In this case, I did build a PDF just as the proper protocol for creating a Google Classroom slide is to actually make it something that wouldn't be editable by students. And so here you can see I do have some hyperlinking elements within the slide that still work in a PDF file. So as an example, within your Bitmoji classroom, you'll want to have pre-built activities for students that are interactive with some instructional cues on how you want the students to engage with these learning materials. This QR code here actually does activate and will go to a website on learning the alphabet. As an example, you could use a 3D or QR code to help illustrate how the Bitmoji classroom can be operationalized to facilitate student learning. And back to my Bitmoji classroom. And in my Google Classroom, in the classwork file, you can see I also have a link for the item C, which would be the instructional video lesson. Among the items within the Google Classroom are integrated learning activities 1, 2, and 3. And these integrative activities are examples here shown in HyperDocs or Google Docs. However you construct those activities is up to you. And perhaps you actually develop a lesson plan that's in digital format that can be shared in your Google Classroom for accessibility. Lastly, in your Classroom Drive folder, you will find items here within the Google Classroom that you have access to. These are really already hyperlinked within the Google Classroom and are files that can be accessible for viewing by students.